Okay, so let's see how this debate actually panned out in the end, right? So the government side today had to show that the advantages of a situation where there's a 19-year-old woman with an uneducated woman with very little career or educational prospects from an underdeveloped nation has a better chance at life registering herself as a mail order bride to a developed nation. And we had to show that no, the disadvantages and harms of it are far greater both in the short term and the long term. So let's see what the questions this debate had to answer and why the opposition has actually answered them better and takes this debate home. So the first thing that we had to show you was the first thing that we had to show you and answer in this debate was, do the standards of living actually improve or do they actually worsen when the woman goes from the underdeveloped nation to the developed nation? So technically what they tried to show you was that given that the situations are so deplorable over there in the underdeveloped nation, that her only chance is going abroad to a developed nation and finding a better living over there. Even if she has a menial job like flipping burgers in a developed nation, she will have a better standard of life. However, we showed you that that will not be the case. What we showed you was that this person, the husband who has actually bought off the woman from the internet, technically will make her do household chores and abuse her. Household chore and abuser because he will think that he is a master. This will give him a sense of masterhood because he has technically chosen her and paid an agency money to have her in his house. So technically she will have, if not same horrible, deplorable conditions in the developed nation, she will have a lifestyle that is just as bad as she came out from. So technically there will also be, she will not have any freedom that she would have had in her own nation. So that's what we showed you, that the condition of living and the standard of living will actually deteriorate far more. After that, we also talked about how these marriages would work, right? So technically we had to answer that these marriages would not be successful, number one, because the agencies that they come through, they are not reliable enough to give you a husband that is technically certifiably a good person that you should be with, right? These agencies, we showed you how they have failed in national levels and how they've also failed in international levels. What they talked about was that no, these agencies would technically give you a character certificate and the criminal records, but we have shown you that these things were not always the case, and we cannot expect just because there is and we cannot expect that just because this woman might have a chance of a better future, we should not risk her life at the hands of a person that we don't know of, whose characters cannot be defined properly. After that, we also talked about how this opens up a floodgate to crime and social problems, right? So we had to talk about over here was that does this rational decision actually lead to a better life, or does it hamper life over there in the developed nation as well? So number one, we showed you how this is not a rational decision, unlike what the government has tried to state, because this woman is desperate and she's living a fantasy of better life in a developed nation. With her low education, she does not know how to take the proper decision, and thus she might go over there and be exploited. Number two, we talked about how this opens up a floodgate of crime and social problems, how she goes up there and is forced into what you call prostitution and human trafficking. The government did not engage upon this. They did not show if there are any existing laws and regulations that could actually stop this. So technically, let us see what we have shown you over here. We showed you that the people are worse off in these stand in these developed nations than their own nation. We have shown you how there's a circumvention of immigration law and that should be illegal. And number three, how it opens a floodgate to crime and social problems. As the government side today has not been able to par off with us on the same level, we believe that we have backed this debate home. Thank you.